so glad to have you here today listening to the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast. I am Jesika Miller, the mind trainer and phobia eliminator and founder of spiritualcocaine.com. Spiritual Cocaine was started as a resource to connect you with gifted practitioners that could guide you to reaching your highest self, heal the deepest parts of you that need healing, and remove any obstacles standing in your way of your best possible life. Join us weekly for high-quality guests and invaluable information that will change your life. SpiritualCocaine.com serves as a directory of practitioners, healers, coaches, and light workers sharing their gifts with you to take you to the highest levels of your being by healing your mind, body, and spirit, and in turn accessing your inner high. Our practitioners, healers, coaches, and light workers offer one-on-one session, group classes, courses, and events throughout the world. You can log on and look through a variety of practitioners, or if you are a practitioner yourself, you can create a profile for others to get to know you and use your services. Join the movement, find your guide, and get high on spiritual cocaine. Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast, where we teach you to heal those parts of yourself that hold you back from living your best life. Spiritual Cocaine is an unlimited resource to show you the infinite ways to reach limitless happiness and abundance using the quantum field. I am your host, Jesika, the mind trainer, and we have today Colleen Saftler from Take Wing Tarot. Is it tarot or tarot? How do you
tomato. I say tarot, but a lot of people say, like, now I can't even say it the other way, tarot. So it's either tarot or tarot, like accent on the first syllable or the second syllable. I'm just kidding. Yes.
Well, because I don't know if people pronounce it like carrot, tarot. Carrot.
Yeah, no, it's not tarot because it's actually derived from the French. So
okay.
Back to the ancient medieval times when tarot was first invented as a card game to disguise the fact that it was divination because it was a no-no with the church.
Ooh, yeah. I love this history lesson.
But the card decks that are most commonly used were first created back in medieval France and medieval times. And the word tarot comes out of that. So that's why it has the French pronunciation and the silent T.
So let's dig a little into that. I was not aware of that. So This came about during a time to cover up for the fact that it was a divination process?
Correct. So the people who used to do it, it was used for centuries and sort of under the rug. But when the church came in and became all powerful, especially during medieval times, all of the natural healers and the people who knew how to be at one with nature and or listen to their intuition or had any of that kind of connection, they were considered, doing the devil's work and things like that and put to death. So it was not a thing that you wanted to have out in the open. And they developed this card game with the archetypes on it. And it's basically the hero's journey depicted through pictures. And it's the journey of man through life and in life cycles. And it's just about life lessons. So.
Wow, that's amazing information. I had no idea. I didn't know that at all. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
And I love it for that simple reason of just getting to know ourselves better. There are many ways that we as human beings come to know who we are. So there's psychology, there's putting yourself to the test, through sports and activities. There's, seeking success through business. There's all these different ways that we as humans come to know who we are. And tarot is just one of those ways. So it opens up. It's very intuitive. It's an art form. There's a science behind it, but there's also an art form. So I love it.
So how did you get started doing tarot?
Very good. I was first introduced to it back in 2000. I was in the spa industry many moon ago, and for a long time, for about 2 decades. And while I was in the spa industry, I did a workshop with a group of friends. There were just four of us who did a workshop with a book called The Artist Way. I don't know if you know it, written by Julia Cameron.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's a
I did
screenwriter.
buy that book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an excellent book. And so we did that as a workshop for the 4 of us, and it took us a year. Like, you're supposed to do it like I guess every chapter once a week, but we were all super busy. But we committed to meeting once a month, and we did a chapter a month, and we would come together and do that. So during that time, while we were going through the Artist Way, one of the women in the group was she would hold retreats. She was creating a company called Elite Retreats. And so she did one. She put together one of her very first in Arizona. I want to say it's Scottsdale Resort, but I don't remember. Somewhere in Arizona, beautiful resort. And I went to participate, but also to film, because I was putting together like a promo film for her. Because I'm also an artist, and I'm in film and theater and all that good stuff. And while I was there, there was a tarot reader on staff. And I just thought, well, that's really interesting. I've never done that. I've always been curious. I'm just the curious kind. I want to know more. And so I booked a session, and the reading she did for me was so eye-opening, just on a personal level. And I watched her.
And what kind of things come out in the session?
Just in general.
What kind of information do you get? Yeah. I've never done one, so I'm.
Oh my goodness, you would love it. You would love it. So the things that come out, well, it depends. So interesting about tarot, you can do a very general, like if you just want to go, show me, what energies are active in my life right now, or tell me anything I need to know, because it's really about the way that I view doing tarot is that, like, if you're the querent, if you're the person who I'm doing the reading for, you're the one touching the cards and shuffling the cards if we do it in person. So you're thinking of your question, your mind, your energy goes into the cards as you're shuffling them, and you're focusing on your question. So that when you hand the cards to me and I lay them out and I do the reading, you're really the one who's chosen the cards. And I just interpret the energy that's on the table. And with that, what comes out is really your higher self. It's information that your inner being wants you to know. It's information.
So it's just an additional tool to reach your higher self. It's just
exactly
okay. Cool.
Exactly, and it can be used. See, here's what I believe. I think you have all the answers to every question you ever have. Inside of you, you have all of the answers. But what we don't know, in general, is we don't know how to access that information. We're so busy doing other things. Our mind is so caught up. We're I think most people are ADD at this point in the world. And to calm the mind, to quiet the mind, to go within, to learn how to access that information often takes a lot of time and energy, and it just takes patience, right? To get to that point where we really feel like we know, and we trust the information that comes up for us, our intuition, trusting our intuition. And tarot gives us a way to do that is confirmation. So what a lot of people get out of it when they get a reading is simple confirmation of what they already know, validation of what they already know. But that's useful. That's super helpful. And then sometimes it's also things that they're not cognizant of. So it helps us follow our inner compass toward the things that we really need to be working on in our life.
So this is your higher self coming through, because yesterday I talked to a medium and relatives come through. So
right. It's very different. It's not that. So tarot is you. Yeah. So tarot is based on your energy. Yeah. And it can change. And what a lot of tarot readers say, and I do too, is tarot is just a tool. It is not the end result. Like people get scared, like, what if I get bad cards, or what if something comes up I don't like it? Change it. Like, it's just the energy of the moment. It's simply reading what's in your mind at that time.
At the given time, right? And we all have.
So
with every reading that you get, exactly. Everyone says you have free will. Like, this is what
absolutely
from this moment on. This is what we see. However, you have free will to change. You have free will to change it.
And seeing where things might go in that moment, it's also eye-opening. It's another tool that goes, oh, well, if I don't change the way I'm thinking, if I don't change the path I'm on, this is the direction I'm headed. So I don't want that, so I'm going to change it. Yeah.
I love that. It's interesting what you said. because I was ill for an extended period of time, and I was working with a practitioner that helped me through that. And then on the other side of my journey was, coming into my gifts, which I had some. However, what was interesting is in removing all the trauma and all the things that were stored in me, it really cleared the pathway for the intuition,
for the light to shine.
Yeah. And even last week we did some work, and the difference in my intuition with my clients between last week and this week is like, it's night and day. And it's really incredible when you remove, all that noise from things. Some people are naturally gifted.
Yes.
And that's another thing. A conversation I've been having with practitioners lately is that I find that there are some people that hold people that are very gifted to a higher standard. So there are some people that are very gifted but haven't necessarily done the work. So they have the gift of the connection, but they haven't done the work.
Right.
So sometimes that's confusing in their interactions with people.
Right, because they come across as less evolved. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
They may have a negative interaction and think it's them because the person has the gift, but the person just has the gift. They haven't necessarily done the work behind it.
Honestly,
so
I think that
really the truth,
Yeah. I think that
that's just a topic that's been coming up lately for people around me, and I have to show them that there are still people that are still living in this very human existence. And just because they have a connection to information doesn't mean they've actually done the work of the consciousness. And you can tell the difference with people that have done the work and haven't. Clearly you have.
100%. Oh, thank you. Yes. No, I have. I've been doing the work my whole life. Like that is, I came into this, you think about all the other tools that we come to know ourselves, like through astrology, numerology, psychology. It's like, oh yes, I'm a Scorpio with Pisces moon, Pisces rising. That tells you a lot. All water all the time. I'm also an ENFP, as far as Kiersey temperament. And there's all these different ways that we can come to know ourselves. So all along my life, I've had a need to, numerology, I'm a 7. So 7's like, if one word could tell you what a 7 is all about, it's why. I have to know why about everything. Why do I do this? Why did they say that? Why, like motivation, what's beneath it all? And that has led me to be a seeker of greater knowledge and understanding my entire life. So,
and that's important. That's important for people coming to work with you, that they know that you've done the work too, that you don't just have the talent, that you've done the work, so that you're giving sound advice based upon, because you're interpreting that through your filter.
Well, that's the foundation. The foundation has to be there. And that's the work I do. So like I do tarot readings, but the tarot readings are one element of it. I also do life coaching. So transformational life coaching and as a spiritual advisor. So that always plays into it because that's who I am and that's the gift that I bring.
Right. And it's important. That's the point of me having this whole platform, is for people to get to know you, right? Because they go through Google, or I've had many people, like I have different certifications, right? Mm-hmm. And then people are like, what do you do? And I kind of stopped saying, what do I do? Because then they'll say, oh, I know another person who does that. I know another person who does that. No, but they don't do what I do.
No.
And that's the thing is, in here, like there are a lot of people who may do tarot, but they don't have the skill and the talent that you have. And it's important for people to get to know you and understand. Yeah. Understand what it is.
Calling myself, you may like this, Jesika. I started calling myself, because I was struggling with that same thing too, because I am so many things and I have so many areas of interest in creativity.
You're you.
And skills, right? So I started calling myself a creative integrationist.
I like that.
And that means that at my heart, I'm a creative, as we all are, because we are in the image of creation. We are an emanation of the universe, right? We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are the hologram. Yes. We are like all of that, right? So, but so we're all creative. And then integration it has been my journey to integrate all of me. And a lot of what I teach is going from self-knowledge to self-acceptance to self-love. Like that is the alignment. That is the foundation for everything that we do.
I love that. A lot of people give the knowledge, and then it's great when you have the knowledge, but if you don't teach the person how they can integrate it, as you said, all they do is walk around like, oh, I'm this way because of that. And people walk away a little more angry, which is why, I mean, don't mean to put down therapy, but a lot of that's what happens at therapy. Is in therapy, you discover things.
Right.
And I found like, what do people like, what's the difference between you and a licensed therapist? And no disrespect to licensed therapy. I'm sure there's a lot of amazing people out there, but I found it's a lot of digging to find out what's wrong. And then kind of like, okay, like just accept it. There isn't really like you said, the integration of the information is how can I take that and modify it? How can I take it and learn from it? How can I, instead of, maybe blaming people that caused those situations. Right.
So yeah, that's an important foundational work.
Yeah.
It's important to do the foundational work, as you said. But once we're there, that's sort of like our springboard. Like you have to do the work. It's like making a pyramid, right? So we're working on a pyramid. Mm-hmm. And that bottom layer of the pyramid is the biggest chunk. It's got the biggest, it's big. It's the most intensive layer.
I can see it. I'm getting a visual.
Right? So you think about a pyramid, like really the Egyptian pyramids with the big blocks right there. But the base is huge. But if the base is done well and you put the work in, every layer after that comes to you exponentially faster. Because if you think about the shape, it gets smaller and quicker until you get to the apex at the top.
So focus. Yeah. I'm thinking of, I keep getting, when you're saying that, I'm getting a visual of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Exactly. That plays into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
as your needs are met, you go up until you have this, it's like you clean out all the riffraff and you have the focus of what you want to be.
Self-actualization, the top of his pyramid was self-actualization. You can also look at it like the chakras, from the base chakra up to the crown chakra, right? To where we're open to. I
love the visual of the pyramid though, because it's very focused at the end.
Yes. Absolutely.
And like the excess is gone. That's a great visual.
I do a lot of visuals. This is something I do stuff where I'm always making charts. I'm always like my brain. I see things in. I
was going to say, how do you get visuals. Your information? That's clairvoyant, right?
Yeah, I'm clairvoyant, but I'm more claircognizant, which is really interesting.
Me too.
It's just that I am. I'm just very visual. So in my brain, when the information comes in, it just comes in as a download of information. And then when I'm trying to output it, what comes out is
you express yourself visually.
I express myself visually. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm claircognizant as well. I just know when people say, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know. I just do.
Yeah.
You just do. If I argue about it, like, no, this is the right way. How do you know? I just do. It makes me seem like I'm stubborn, but
I know it's not that.
It's not stubborn.
Well, what's interesting is with time. So going back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, where we are all creatives and we are all intuitive. So as human beings, our nature is to be creative. Our nature is to be intuitive. We have that in all of us. Some people tap into it very early in life. It's very natural that channel is open for them. Others, not so much. Others never even get around to it, but it is there. So it is something that you can, for all people, we can nurture it. We can grow it. We can feed it. It's like anything, what you feed, what you focus on, you get more of. Yeah. So I think that is something that if people, they adding to their quiver of tools, that's what I'm all about, is giving people tools for growth. And you go ahead.
I was going to ask you, so when people seek you out or people refer I have somebody amazing. What exactly are they coming to you for? What are they looking for? Generally, when you get someone, what are the kinds of things, so that we can help people understand, we understand what you do. Like, what kind of are the scenarios that people come to you for?
Okay. Well, it's kind of twofold. One is if they're just coming to me strictly for tarot readings, right? They always get the life coaching, and because that's who I am, I can't help myself. So as I'm doing the reading, I'm life coaching.
Right. It segues into that.
It segues into it. It always does. That's just part of it. But typically when people...
But even with tarot, for somebody who's never done it before, what kind of answers could they get? Like, what do people come searching answers for?
They come for guidance. It's like, they come because they're anxious, because they're at a crossroads in their life. They want answers. Yeah. They need guidance. Maybe they have an inkling about something, but they're unsure, and they just need somebody to tell them, yes, right?
Confirmation.
Right. Absolutely.
In what aspect? Career, personal life?
All of it. So I get a lot about romance and relationships, but also a lot with career. Like, am I going to get this job? Are they going to green light my project? I'm talking to so-and-so. What stage is it at? What are they thinking? What do I need to know to push this along? It's just a lot of things, anything in life, honestly. Or I get a lot of questions about, a lot is relationships. So not just love relationships, but like family. My brother's going through a really tough time. I really want to support him. What's the best way that I can support him? What are they
That's beautiful.
What do I need to know? Yeah.
That's beautiful. And then as far as the life coaching, do you have like I can help people with a lot of things, but I started out doing phobias, because I had, phobias and panic attacks and all of that good stuff. So I made kind of a commitment. And then after I was doing that for a while, I realized it's great to eliminate these things, but actually I like to bring people back into their empowerment. Right. Because they've been so long in this cage. So I get people for the phobia, and we segue into that, but I also get people who are just looking to level up. So do you have something that you specialize in your life coaching, or do you do general life coaching? Like, you have a niche thing that like people come to you for?
Yeah, actually, because I'm a creative, I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, multi-hyphenate, as they call it. And I've been in that realm for most of my life. I tend to gravitate toward, and they gravitate toward me, other creatives. So artists of all kinds, performance artists, singers, musicians, actors, directors, writers, the whole gambit. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of angst in this world, honestly, and especially being here in LA. That's the big, big part of it. But what's been on my heart for many, many years, I started a women's group way back in the 90s called Women of Substance. And I have just a heart for empowering women. I have a website called takewing.us, and that is very focused on the woman's journey. And honestly, I think that one of the answers to world peace and the problems we have in the world is that if women were to step into their power and understand that they can be more powerful in their lives, take responsibility for not only their own lives, but even lighting their light in the world, bringing it more to the world, we can balance out this whole imbalance of masculine, feminine.
This is a group you have?
Well, I don't even know what to call it now. It's sort of dormant at this time. I used to have meetings all the time. I guess on my life, with COVID and things like that, where everything got shut down. I just haven't revived it. But yeah, it was called Women of Substance. And we would gather once a month, and I would have guest speakers, and we would just, go over.
Well, when you revive it, let me know. We have a bunch of ladies.
I absolutely will. I think that would be great. Yeah, because it's how, we show up in the world, but we first have to show up for ourselves. And
I think, what I also think is important is that what I've noticed is I used to be in real estate, and there was a community, and I found that now that I've moved into this segment, it's a little bit lonely, and I'm really seeking out like a community for like empowerment, you know, because
absolutely,
it's lonely to talk about like your goals, your dreams, your things, and to have something like that, where a group of people, regardless of the industry that you're in,
exactly,
you know, or if you're in the same industry, it's helpful. Or if you're not, just to have something where women can come together and share tools and share motivation and to share stories is yes. definitely needed, because we've really, and especially after COVID, right? Because since COVID, a lot of people went online. COVID was an opportunity, was a blessing, in my opinion. I know there was some negative about COVID, but it was also an opportunity for everybody to get quiet and go inside and find really because there was nowhere to go and there was nothing to do. So you couldn't hide behind keeping yourself busy with fake stuff. Right. You had to go in and start remembering what it is about yourself that you love, like hobbies and sports and dreams and passions that people just let go because they had to work, they had to survive, they had to pay the bills, right? They had to do this.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that now people have reemerged in a different light. And if they could have the support behind, a lot of people left their job and went to do their passion project and need a community of support. So when you start that up again, I think there's definitely a bigger need more than ever for that type of community.
I agree 100%. And that's on that same website.
So we're ready when you are.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it. Actually, this is great because sometimes we just need that impetus. We need that little spark that says, do this, make this happen. Because one of the visions I've had for years, and when I started the Take Wing community, was that it was a community for women, an empowerment community to come together in a safe place, in a safe environment to build each other up.
Non-judgment.
And I call it nesting. Like we create the nest within all of our little fledglings can come in and learn from each other and be together until we are ready to take wing and soar.
And it's also like a support group. Those will be your initial customers and your initial people because they believe in you and they know your project. They become like your little your little test group.
Yes. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I love it. So that's why I like the Take Wing. That's great. I love
that's the Take Wing. Yes.
Can you share with us your offerings, your current offerings?
Okay, well,
any courses you may have or anything like that, just let us know everything that you offer.
Okay. So right now, I mean, it's as easy or as complicated as you want it to be, honestly. So what I offer are one-on-one sessions.
Okay.
Whether that is...
And what do those look like? How long are those?
Well, you can do a half-hour tarot reading.
Okay.
But what ends up happening almost every single time, so I might as well just say here, is they always want more. Like,
yeah, of course.
They get in and they're like, ah!
Honestly, it's addicting. People don't realize how addicting it is to have access to that info.
Yeah. So basically, minimum time is an hour. I do readings in person and online. I have a setup where you can see the cards, you can see me. I have a 2-camera thing going so that we do a reading and your energy is infused in the cards, and it's wonderful and beautiful. I also do and tarot readings. Even though on my website, if you were to go on takewingtarot.com, you would see various names of different readings. But it's just to entice people to get them to think about ways or what they want to ask. But when it comes down to, it's just whatever's on their heart. Yeah, it's all the same.
So is that the best way for people to get in touch with you is through your website?
Yes, through my website or by email. Colleen.
What's your email?
It's Colleen, Colleen, at takewing.us.
Love it. Love it. And then what about the life coaching?
Life coaching, same thing. Just hop on there and there's a contact form. So when you go on the website, at the top, you always see the menu and it has a little contact thing. So you just type in there, hey, want to talk to you about this. What are your offerings? On the Take Wing US website, I have the 2 websites, takewing.us and takewingtarot.com. On the takewing.us, it goes more into the life coaching and what it can do for you and what's available and breaking it down into really the best thing is just to contact me. But we can break it down into sessions. Like how far do you want to go? Do you have a short-term goal? We can do in 3 sessions, 5 sessions. Do you have a long-term goal? We can do 5 to 10 sessions. It's whatever your goals are. Or ongoing, like hire me. Let me be your lifetime life coach.
Yeah, that's great too. It's always good to have, people who check in once, like I get clients for like a period of time, and then you get people who check in who need like little refreshers here and there.
Accountability is huge though. A lot of us just need that person to be accountable to.
Yeah. And also to share your dreams and goals with somebody who's been with you on the whole journey, who's not going to say, I told you so, or judge you, or this or that, or just like, it's like having your own like cheerleader in your corner. That's good. That's on the journey with you. I found
absolutely. Oh my God!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You are amazing.
I can't wait to have you on again, and definitely when you start back up your women's circle, we definitely want to hear about it, because I think that it's needed again, and we're creating a community here, and that's another amazing community that a lot of people definitely need during this time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being at the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast, where we teach you to heal those parts of yourself that hold you back from living your best life. I'm Jesika, the mind trainer, and we had our amazing guest, Colleen, today, and she's an incredible practitioner, and you're going to love working with her. See you all soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me, Jesika, the mind trainer, and Phobia Eliminator here on the Spiritual Cocaine Podcast. If you loved what you heard today, please be sure to leave us a positive review on this podcast so that it can continue to provide you with the best resources available in your ascension journey. Most of the episodes can be watched on our YouTube channel, which you can find by searching Spiritual Cocaine on YouTube. Find out more about our guests in depth on our website, spiritualcocaine.com, along with many other gifted practitioners. And as always, give us a follow on Instagram, where you will definitely find our juiciest content. Our Instagram address is @spiritualcocaine_. Bye for now.